season. Palm trees breezing, opposing teams bleeding.
All right, welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. We are now grinding through the most atrocious, abysmal, horrible, awful part of an NFL fan's life right now. It's known as the offseason. And I'm joined tonight to help me kind of muddle through all this here. My co-host, KB. How you doing, man?
Good. Not only are we in the off season, we're in lying season, everyone.
Yeah.
From now until the draft, don't believe 90% of what you hear.
Everybody lies. And we are joined. Everybody, hold your applause until after I finish here. Managing editor, the most electrifying man in sport. What I mean, I'm sorry, that's already
Bucs Entertainment.
Bucs Entertainment. There we go. Evan Winter, man, how you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm doing great, but you are just building me up just so I can fall so hard, man.
I would never do that. A man that has a beer in his hand is a friend of mine.
Yes, well, I concur. So let's keep it moving.
So, how's everybody doing?
I'm swell. I'm honored to be here, and it's always fun to get to talk to y'all. And I mean, yeah, it's the lion season, the season of lies, but
Lies.
Fortunately, here in about a week, we've got some real, some protein to chew on with the combine starting. So at least there's that to look for.
It does not feel like the combine's like next week.
It really doesn't.
It's
it really
crazy. I just hopefully this Rams defending champion thing will go by really fast so we can get past all this.
Man, bro, sorry. I got to say something real quick. I am absolutely peeved that the Bucs didn't get at least 2 years to be the only team to win a Super Bowl in their backyard. I mean, that is like, you want to talk about like epitome of Buck luck, dude. Like, I mean, at least 2 seasons. Like, why did it have to happen this year? But anyway.
And why the Rams? Oh, I can tell you why. Because did you see all the money in that stadium?
Oh, dude, I've been in that stadium.
Like I'm talking about people. I'm not talking about the.
Oh, my bad. But still, either way, yeah, you had to have money to be at that one. I mean, hell, like average, like the lowest ticket price was like $8,000 at some point or something. I know it dropped, but at one point it was like $8,000 or some crap like that. Just nuts.
Unbelievable. And that's
and
why
they don't even have In-N-Out in the stadium, probably.
Yeah, at least they don't have like Chick-fil-A or something like that, like some other.
It's closed on Sundays, Gene.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's all over at the Atlanta stadium, but
make that make sense.
Can't be at
that was
9/10 of their games.
God, like how do you make that big of a goof? Like that's just the best thing ever.
I really don't know. C3 Podcast, you got people from all over the place. We get people from the Browns. We've got the Carolina Panthers, C3 Podcast.
Remember when we were talking to them about how they might get Watson and everything?
Yeah, you just
all
don't
the
know.
Turntables.
Hey, you just don't know. All right, and look, we got people coming in here. King Cook, Will the Brewer. I'm trying to talk Will the Brewer into making a Buck What You Heard lager or possibly an IPA. So,
dude, you got to go IPA. You got to go IPA.
Yeah, so I'm throwing that hint out there. We'll see what happens and everything. I know. I finally got my guy a shirt. He can now we can be friends again. Because I kind of let him down there. Oh, and again, shout out to Smack Apparel. I am rocking one of the many Smack Apparel shirts that I do have, and I want to thank you guys. But I do want to get back to the free agency. I think it's interesting. I go away from social media and I come back, and there is this humongous debate about Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert.
I don't think you want to talk to either of us, Gene.
Yeah,
we both have gotten our fair share.
I've seen the tweets, man, and you know what? There's no wrong answer here because we can only talk about what's going on right now. Nothing's happened. No players have moved on. No players have signed. None of that. Nothing has happened yet. Tampering hasn't started yet or anything like that. So we're kind of in a holding pattern. And as you look at this team, Kyle Trask, I think, is the only quarterback under contract for the Buccaneers. And then
you got the all-star trio of Kyle Trask, Keyshawn Vaughn, and Cameron Brate as the only players at their position under contract.
And the sexiest
Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
But the sexiest player, the sexiest position has got to be the tight end position. When you talk about Cameron Brate, we've seen what he can do. He can make quarterbacks, he can make you or break you, basically. So
I mean,
much-
he's basically only done that with Jameis Winston, though.
As much
Yeah.
damn money as he's making this year, he better do something.
Yeah,
Well, I think he's going to take another pay cut.
he's
I
going
mean,
to
he
take
has
it.
to.
He's got to.
Yeah.
It's
He's going to, but it's just crazy that I don't know. It just still blows my mind that somehow he's still on this roster. I mean, I get it. Trust me. Hey, I like him. He does good. He's a good player. I like his role.
Clutch.
But no, totally. I'm not taking anything away from him. It's just that price tag, man. I mean, and the crazy thing about it, it was a pretty decent deal when he signed it. What, 4 years ago? Like, it wasn't like who signs 7-year deals in this league anymore? But now, I mean, God, it's like, God, 6.8 mil in base. It's just like,
It's hurting.
a lot.
It's hurting. Yeah. So
That's a lot.
So
well, it'll be interesting because BAs typically, not really Byron, but mainly BA, I guess, just never really relied on tight end. And we're
Right.
kind of away from the Brady. I'm not saying force feeding Gronk, but Gronk was more integrated into this offense more than any tight end, or even including Heath Miller, has ever been integrated into an offense of BAs. So I think it'll be interesting, when assuming we bring Godwin back. I mean, I think the 3 or the 4 wide receiver sets are going to be more of a thing.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that. So do you guys think? I know that there's talk that, again, this is the lying season right now, so don't believe anything you hear. With Chris Godwin testing free agency, the Buccaneers do have. Well, I guess they can't franchise him, so he's a totally free agent. But what do you see with Chris Godwin? I've always been comfortable saying the Bucs bring Chris Godwin back. I've been very comfortable saying that, but now, I don't know.
Were you talking about possibly tagging him again? Was that?
Yeah,
what
you can't. No, he's a free agent. You can't.
Well, no, yeah, you could, but it would cost. Right off the top of my head, 20. It would be 20% more on top of what last year's tag or this year's tag, or what this year's tag is. Sorry,
this was 15.9.
Yeah,
so
it would be
just rounded up to 16, so 20.
Yeah, it would be close to $20 million if you.
But the thing about that though is it would be 20 million flat. There's no manipulating that to everyone out there.
Comes straight off the top. So with the Buck, so yeah, I mean, like I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I don't feel comfortable saying I don't feel more comfortable saying he's going to stay than I do he's going to leave. Like, I don't feel comfortable saying either one.
Somebody's going to pay him an ungodly amount of money.
Well, man, and look, and this is what I said with Ryan Jensen last offseason. Like they extended everybody under the sun except for him. They didn't sign Chris Godwin to a long-term deal. Like, they always talk about how important he is. Well, if he's that damn important, pay him. And they didn't do it last year. They had a chance to do it. Yeah. And now this year, ACL, I know that's not really going to affect things, but
no, it's not.
But he showed last year how valuable he is. So he's going to get paid. And they had a chance last year. And now that they didn't do it. So I don't know, man. If you put a gun to my head, I would say he's gone. So
yeah, I said that last year and looked like a fool. So
hey, we're all wrong. It's all good.
Yeah. But
I said back in 2012 that the Seahawks weren't going to make it to the playoffs the next year. So there you go.
Yeah, but you didn't know they were going to draft Russell Wilson in the 3rd round after getting Matt Castle.
Yeah.
Or not Matt Castle. What was his name?
The kid out of LSU.
Yeah, Matt Flynn.
Yeah,
wrong Matt.
Yeah. Oh, Matt Flynn, the thief. The guy that's just like stole everything. I don't know. Everywhere he's gone, he's like gotten an ungodly amount of money. Almost like Mike Glennon.
But Mike Glennon only really got the bag from one place.
Dude, that contract's got to be like one of the worst. When they signed him to that, I was like, what? Like, I got a buddy who's a Bears fan.
And then they drafted Trubisky.
I was just like, what are y'all doing, man? I was just like,
there had to be like compromising. There were some pictures out there, or maybe a sex tape, or there was something out there that they had. He was holding over their head.
Yeah, that was just insane. I laughed so hard when I read that headline that day.
So, I do want to kind of go around, and I know that, because I want to get your tweet was trying to bring it up earlier, but I don't see it right away. You gave a really compelling argument for why Blaine Gabbert should be coming back to Tampa, where that basically it frees up money to do other things with the team. And I remember Blaine Gabbert, and again, he didn't play the whole time he was in Arizona. He kind of came in for Matt Leinart, and I like that. Hopefully we don't get I heard that. But anyway.
Oh shit, my bad.
So how does that work? I mean, I've watched him play. I've watched him play since he was in Jacksonville. And throughout the years, I watched him in San Francisco. I watched him in Arizona. I watched him in Tennessee. He's a fallback guy. He's the guy you call on when the cute girl doesn't want to go out with you. This is who you just like, hey, I got, this didn't all work out. My plans fell through. Why don't you come on through? That's who he is. He's never been your first option throughout, other than his rookie season. He's never been your first option. He's always been that kind of fallback. Like when he was behind Mariota at Tennessee. Was he behind Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco?
I would think so, but I don't know right off the top of my head.
I think he was. And again, he's never been your guy that you're going to call on as your starter. So I guess what I'm trying to understand, just based on his body of work and how he's played, you guys are very comfortable with him coming in here and running this Bucs offense. So I'm trying to talk me off the ledge here.
So first off, not very comfortable. Like, no, like that's the problem with
keep
Twitter.
In mind, folks, all the listeners, just understand we're talking about right now. This is what the Bucs have right now. And we're saying if they bring Blaine Gabbert back in and he's your starter, this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about fast forward 2 weeks to the start of free agency. We're talking about right now. But go ahead.
It would be absolutely silly to sit here and say I feel very comfortable with Blaine Gabbert being the starting quarterback of this team going into the season. Like that's what a lot of people are misinterpreting, but it's Twitter, all that good stuff. Yeah. And I don't give a shit if they misinterpret it. It's fun. It's fun watching people lose their minds.
And they do
over what I said, which what I said was, in case those watching didn't see it, I just said the Bucs season isn't lost if Gabbert is the starter in 2022. And by lost, I mean people are out here acting like, Bucs Twitter went from, and I tweeted this out as well, I'm not trying to go through all my tweets, but this is just honestly part of the context surrounding my statement. But Bucs Twitter has gone from like, we're bulletproof, BDE energy, just to stick our heads between our legs and kiss our asses goodbye within the span of 3 weeks. Like everybody is acting like the sky is falling, or that if the Bucs don't go out and land Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, that they're utter failures, and that they didn't try hard enough and win now. This is a Super Bowl roster. Everybody, I don't know if they've forgotten, but when Tom Brady first signed, people even then didn't consider it Super Bowl roster. So what Tom Brady did was make it a Super Bowl roster.
Don't judge me.
I didn't think they were a Super Bowl roster. I said one win in the playoffs. I was
pissed about Jameis Winston throwing a pick six to the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm still mad about that.
I said 10-6, I think, that year in year one, and one playoff win. Like, I didn't think they were a Super Bowl roster. So right. But anyways, that'll be a whole nother part of the conversation. Yeah. But what happens with Blaine Gabbert? Yes, and at least now, and there's also a preface to this. It also depends on how much they pay him. If they go over $6 million, $5 million is ideal, and that's about right for him. But the starting quarterback market in this league is absolutely ridiculous.
It's overinflated, yeah.
So at the end of the day, you don't ever really know. But if they don't go over $6 million, yes, that's going to allow them to bring back so many free agents, because you got to think about it. They're already going to be on the hook. Tom Brady was a $20.2 million cap hit coming into this year. They're already definitely going to eat 8 of that. That leaves you about $12 million to spend on a quarterback before you start going over what you were already paying. And yes, now I know you can add void years. There's contract stuff you can do to manipulate numbers, but we don't, like you're saying, we don't know that right now.
Right.
Blaine Gabbert comes in, $5-6 million bucks. Add that to Tom Brady's $8 million. You're at $14 million. Inside of a $20.2 million cap hit. That saves you $6 extra million right there. You can use that to re-sign Jordan Whitehead right off the bat, possibly Leonard Fournette. Both of them are market valued PFF at $6 million a year. So that right there wraps somebody up. It creates this domino effect to where you can bring other guys back.
Yeah. And what concerns me, with who you bring back or how many people you bring back is the amount of money, the way the cap has increased from last year to this year. And there are teams like the Miami Dolphins that need a quality running back. And I could see a Leonard Fournette. I could see a Leonard Fournette in a Dolphins uniform. I'm just being honest here. I mean, these are things that could, potentially happen. And again, just because of all the money that's out there now, and I was looking at Sport Track, and I think Tampa is like at number 16.
What you want to look at is you want to look at you want to go to overthecap.com and you want to look at effective cap space, because what that is it takes into account the top 51 players in the roster, and it accounts for what Tampa Bay is going to have to spend on their draft class, and that also includes omitting or canceling out the contracts on the back end of the roster that the rookies will replace. So in actuality, Tampa Bay is $1.3 million over the cap. They're in the red.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I'm saying right there. That's having Gabbert around. And look, and here's kind of going into the big picture, and kind of what you were just talking about is, let's say Gabbert comes in, things, go as most expect, how even I am kind of like, at the end of the day, my stance is this. With him at the quarterback, I'm really expecting about 7 or 8 wins. Okay. 10 wins being the ceiling. And if things go right, if they play their cards right, they draft right, they pay the right people the right amount of money, then they can get to 10 wins if they stay healthy, so on and so forth. That's not unreasonable. But like I said, there's a lot that's going to have to happen to do that. If things go wrong, and let's say they win 5 games, 4 games, 6 games tops, what you're able to hold on to this year and in the coming years, all of a sudden you're going into 2023 with your core that you'll be able to re-sign because you had Gabbert at quarterback, and it saves you however much money. I mean, if you want to look at freaking Deshaun Watson, he's a $30 million base salary guy. We're talking $27 million difference here when it comes to paying somebody. You could do so much with that money, that savings. And I know, again, there's contract stuff you could work out to manipulate the money, but right now, in the moment. So, but anyways, going into 2023 with your core still intact, and now you have a top 10, top 12, let's say things go horribly wrong, top 5 draft pick, it's not that bad, man. It's not that bad at the end of the day. And I know this sounds crazy, saying, hey, losing games is cool. But at the end of the day, if things do go right, then you're still a playoff team. But if things go wrong, you're in great shape for the future.
And you're able to bounce back, and you're staying competitive, and you're staying on top of, everything that's going on with the NFC.
I honestly think, and here's the thing with Gabbert too, Bruce Arians said it himself, 8 offensive coordinators in his first 8 seasons. He's never been comfortable on a team. He's comfortable now. And I know it's been spot duty, but in the spot duty, he's looked okay. I mean, that's the only sample size we get, unfortunately. That's all we can base it on.
Right.
I mean, we can't sit here and say, oh, this didn't happen, because we never got to see it.
Right.
So,
and all I can base it on is his body of work. That's all I can base it on.
Oh, yeah. And dude, trust me, he has looked. I mean, he cost the Titans the playoffs. Ryan Tannehill owes him a lifetime salary, because Blaine Gabbert is the reason why the Titans traded for Ryan Tannehill. The Titans were one win away from making the playoffs back in 2018, and Marcus Mariota got hurt. It was the last game of the year. I think they're playing the Colts. And Blaine Gabbert comes in, sucks it up, and the Titans lose, and they were tired of relying on Marcus Mariota's health. They wanted somebody who could come in and win them games when they knew Marcus was going to be out. And that's the legend of Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. And I can remember, watching Blaine Gabbert when he was in Arizona, and just his decision-making would just, and that the people, I've gone to a Cardinals game, and just seeing how the people reacted to this guy, it was scary, and I'm like, man, do we want to wheel this guy out here? And
that's also 6 years ago, or five years ago, whatever the time was. And that's a time when he was learning new offenses. He's been in this offense for 3 years now. Like, he knows the players. And I mean, I get what you're saying. And you go off the body of work, the sample size, but at the same time, it is definitely different context.
Right. And I look at players like Frank Wright. Frank Wright was a horrible quarterback At least he was below average in my opinion. But he's an amazing coach. So I get what you're saying. And, he knows the system. He helped Tom Brady develop, so on and so on and so on. But, when it comes to decision making, being out there commanding the line, commanding the huddle, is he that guy? It remains to be seen. And as I mentioned to KB, if this all happens, if this all plays out like I hope it doesn't, but he's the guy and he goes off, there is a Blaine Gabbert apology tour that's on deck, and I will be the man that will apologize to Blaine Gabbert for the rest of the season if I'm wrong.
I'm happy you called me out, Gene, because I want to play a different game with you. It's called the money game. Okay. So as Evan mentioned, we have the effective cap space where we're 1.3 mil in the red. And that's before we talk Chris Godwin. That's before we talk about Ryan Jensen. That's before we talk about Ndamukong Suh. And that's before we talk about Will Golston. That's before we talk about Leonard Fournette, Blaine Gabbert himself,
Carlton Davis,
Aaron Stinney, if we're going to bring him back for depth, all of Carlton Davis, all of these fun names, Jordan Whitehead, Alex Kappa, all of these fun names before we even get there, Gene. So I'm not saying bring in Gabbert, but let's say hypothetically you trade for, even if we're not even going to say Russell Wilson, let's throw out his godforsaken name, Jimmy G, or bring in Teddy Bridgewater for, let's say, $10 million as opposed to playing Gabbert 5 or having them both or whatever. Okay, let's say that's still 15, 20 extra million. That's basically saying no to one of Jensen or Kappa. That's saying no to also Will Golston. That's saying no to Jordan Whitehead, just from that one move. And that's before we even talk about Russell Wilson. That's before we talk about Deshaun Watson. Now, there is a scenario for, let's say, the Bucs bring back, again, a core of these guys. And then if we want to look really quickly at the 2023 free agents, names like Levante David, Devin White, assuming he's going to get his 5th year, he's not really a free agent, Raheem Nunez-Roches, and Mike Edwards are the names that we're talking about for next offseason in terms of free agency, not counting whoever you sign for a 1-year deal this year. So if you want to go all in, my at least idea about it would probably be better next year because Derek Carr, unless he signs a long-term extension, is going to be a free agent. You can get him without and play with the numbers without paying first, second, third round picks in a huge package. You don't have to worry about that. Russell Wilson might be one extra year of, shit going on in Seattle where he's just absolutely fed up and wants to get out because it seems like right now Seattle doesn't want to give him up right now. Deshaun Watson, it gives him, what if he has to sit out another 6 months of this season at least because he's dealing, or the next 6 months because he's dealing with, is there going to be criminal charges? Is there not? What's going to happen with that trial or not? Like, he's not playing a game anytime soon.
Right.
So you're giving yourself the time of saying, hey, let's try to make the playoffs with this team because the Bucs didn't make the playoffs and still got Brady. If this team wins 7, 8 games, 9 games with Blaine Gabbert, someone's going to want to come here.
And don't forget the state of the NFC South right now. It's not very good. It's not very good at all. Now, hey, if JW comes back to the Saints, then they're going to be my favorite, depending on what happens with Kamara, obviously. But then on top of that, there's 7 seeds now in the playoffs. You could win 8, 9 games and make it into the playoffs, and that's totally doable with this roster.
Who would have thought San Fran was going to be in the playoffs after the way they started this year?
Right, exactly. I mean, the Eagles, I mean, like the Dolphins even had a chance after starting 1-7. So, I mean, like, guys, it's just things are different. Like,
and Aaron Rodgers might be leaving. Like, there's quarterbacks, round table, or we're going to call it musical chairs. Like, everyone seems to be going to the AFC these days.
Yeah, it's safe. But I do have a question for you guys. King Cook asked this question: was giving Vita Vea $74 million a stretch?
No, the issue was giving him $74 million, then playing him 45% of the snaps in an elimination game. That's my issue.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Huge. That's kind of where I'm at as well. The guy is a weapon, and he should be used as such. He's disruptive. He plays violent, and he makes players. And see, this is the one thing I will say about him. You guys may disagree with me here. Vita Vea makes everybody around him better. If you have even a smidgen of talent, and this guy is a space eater, and he's doing what he's doing. You can benefit from Vita Vea being on the field if you're there with him.
And
I'll
while
be
he's
sure.
not a,
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead, man. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, while he's not a pass rusher, throw on the Cowboys tape. I mean,
That's
this
all you can
man
do.
can push anyone into a quarterback, and we've seen him take on 3 guys. He's affected plays,
He's a
forced
space eater.
interceptions, forced people into sacks because of his presence, as you were saying, Gene.
The only thing I can think of as why he was played so, not necessarily sparingly, but I'm just going to use that because I'm lazy, for lack of a better word, is that bone bruise he had back in week, 6, 7, whatever it was. Maybe they just wanted to take it slow and easy on him, so that way that he didn't risk further injury. I'll make sure I'll make a note of it, and I'll ask Bruce in the next.
Yeah, because he played like 60 or 70 against the Eagles, and that was even after blowing them out, essentially.
And see, it's nice to have somebody like my man here, Evan, on here, who can ask. He's got the coach's ear. We can get this stuff answered.
It's okay. Evan's not going to be the guy that asked Todd Bowles, why the fuck did you blitz? He's not going to be that guy.
No.
There would be 10 other guys asking that question.
Well, I'm about to say that's because probably like 3 people before me will ask it. So, yeah, trust me. That's in Zoom. You got to wait your turn. So, unfortunately.
So basically, and we're going to move on from this because as Michael Pless is letting us know there are other things we could be talking about.
He's got the cane out on the stage. He
is. Because he's all about Team Gator. But is that a viable option though? Because I heard somebody say 10 wins with Blaine Gabbert. I'm like,
I said that.
Oh no, but there's somebody else. I think it was who else? Somebody else said that.
I mean,
if there's anything I learned from the Tom Brady era team is that these games are more won or lost than they are won. Every game that the Bucs lost in the Brady era was they deserved to fucking lose because they did everything in their power to lose.
Yeah, mostly against the Saints, but yeah, you're right.
So like if Gabbert puts up modest, let's say top 12 to 18 numbers, and the defense, if they bring everyone back and maybe add some more to make that defense actually like elite, then I think you're a Sean Murphy Bunting fix away from, or competition away from, really fixing that secondary.
Let's talk about that.
Let's hear it.
If they don't bring back Carlton Davis, they've got to take a corner and round.
Oh yeah, no, I think CD3 is coming back.
There is no, or even if they tag him, because there is no way you can sit here and tell me, and I'm not saying y'all personally, I'm just speaking in generalities, but there's no way you can sit here and tell me that they would feel comfortable going into 2023 with Sean Murphy Bunting in his final year, my bad. Sean Murphy
Dean
Bunting
and SMB
going into free agency, Dean going into free agency, Edwards going into free agency, and Carlton Davis going. Like, what the hell are you going to do at that point? So if they don't sign him to a long-term deal, then it's going to make zero absolute sense. If they tag him, you might find me with a pack of Pall Malls and a pistol off in the hotel.
I just hope they sign him before J.C. Jackson, because J.C. is going to break the fucking bank.
Yeah, for sure. He's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. So you've got Carlton Davis, Pierre Desir, Jordan Whitehead, and I'm not even mentioning Richard Sherman. I don't even care.
That was somebody. I went on this podcast the other day, and he was like, what player are you worried about the most getting signed away from the team? And I said, definitely not Richard Sherman.
Right now we have Ross Cockrell, SMB, and Dean are the only 3 secondary players.
At corner.
Yeah. And my concern here is them being on the field. That's the biggest concern I have, because it's like this year they were so delicate, and you didn't have your full complement of secondary players until at the beginning of the season, but damn near till the end of the season.
SMB left before halftime against the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that was it. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Dean played hurt the entire year, and then Davis obviously was out for a couple weeks there.
Hold on, timeout. Rob G, you're in timeout for that one.
What he said.
Super Bowl participant VH3 as an option. He can sign? No.
No.
Tell me how this man doesn't even dress for the Super Bowl and still gets flagged for celebration.
And he got fined $5,500 too.
That's right. That's like getting fired on your day off.
5.5K. I mean, dude, just listening to Al Michaels and an undressed player becoming, I'm just like, dude, is that? Oh my god! I was like, that is Vernon.
Way to go, Wharton. Way to go, Wharton High School. Wharton High School. Take a bow.
I actually called into the local radio station and named him as the dumbest thing in sports of the week the other day. Yeah, dude, that was just unreal, man.
It was crazy. I couldn't believe he did it. But then again, I could believe that he did it just based on.
Well, because that's his thing, is celebrating nonsense even when he doesn't do anything. And then when they actually do something good, he celebrates it to a penalty, which is just insane.
And again, while we're on this subject, this is the guy that they throw the ball 50 yards over the receiver's head. And here he is. Like he actually caused the play to he created this whole thing to happen, and it just had nothing to do with him. It just happened to be the ball was thrown over the receiver's head and he had nothing to do with it, but he's celebrating.
I remember one good play, and that was the game-saving tackle on Christian McCaffrey in week 2 in 2019. That's the only thing I remember from him. That was good.
That and him leaving and watching SMB and Dean actually come, because Dean got torched his first game, so we all got worried. Right. But then he turned around real quick.
But you know what was cool about it? KB kept a stiff upper lip about it, man. He was like, no, this guy he's legit.
Jamel Dean is a top 3 cornerback 2 in this league. Now, if we're going to talk cornerback 1, completely different discussion.
True story.
But being opposite of a guy like Carlton Davis, if these two just learned how to catch, just spend some time with the Diggs brothers maybe or something, they'd make a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, there you go. But again, how comfortable, with what you have right now, how comfortable are you guys with the Bucs secondary?
You have to re-sign Davis, as Evan was saying. You have to long-term, because, again, you are looking at literally Antoine Winfield, assuming, let's say, Whitehead, stays for a year, does some sort of, buy low, try to test the market next year.
Like 1 year for $6 million, something like that.
Yeah, because the safety market is just finicky, and there's just always a lot.
So question.
But I'm just saying, next year, the entire secondary could be on free agency if Carlton Davis only does a 1 year or franchise tag.
Let me ask you this then. With all that being said, is he a or should he be a priority? Is this somebody?
Oh, yeah.
They do have the franchise tag. He's not. That's not.
We can't play with the numbers, Gene. We can't. As soon as we franchise tag someone, Gene, 3 guys that we want back are out the door, just because you can't play with the money anymore. And remember, the cap's going up exponentially, so you want to be able, if Chris Godwin cost you an extra one or 2 mil over, what he got this year, if he's an $18 to $20 million wide receiver, it's better to pay him 15 this year, 20 next year, and 22 the following year than it is to give him 20 million from the franchise tag right now.
Yeah, and look, up until Tom Brady came to town, the front office was always pay as you go. They weren't about pushing the bill down the road. And Tom Brady comes to your damn team. Of course, you're willing to do whatever. So it's just not in this front office's DNA. And you don't push, even for Russell Wilson, even for Deshaun Watson, in my opinion, you don't push the bill down the road for them, because they're not freaking Tom Brady. Nobody is Tom Brady.
Yeah, you got to draw that line right there, because you look at what the Saints are going through right now. The Saints are literally in salary cap hell.
In the Packers, dude.
How did the Packers get here is what I'll never understand.
It's the restructures, and they signed David Bakhtiari to that huge contract in November.
Aaron Jones, 45 effective cap,
in the red. Think about this, guys. Think about this.
And that's after they just restructured Kenny and saved.
And that's before Aaron Rodgers asked for 50 a year.
Yeah, and they said they're going to pay him that.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is nuts here, man. When you think about it, you look
and
at
Devontae Adams is a free agent. Sorry, Gene.
Yeah, sorry.
Green Bay Packers, salary cap hell. They went all in, nothing to show for it. The New Orleans Saints, for over a decade, they've been kicking the can down the road, and they have nothing to show for it.
But you know what? Don't get me wrong. We give the Saints so much shit. I'd rather go through what the Saints went through than what the Packers went through.
Well, when you got a franchise quarterback, you can do this stuff. I mean, that when you've got an elite quarterback that is proven himself time and time again, you're willing to do that. But when you've got, not trying to bring up old wounds or anything, Jameis Winston, you don't know what you have. Like you're going to be a little bit more hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
Things that's like I said, man. Like you're willing to do what Tom Brady's the hot girl. That you drink her bathwater. You know what I'm saying? Like that you would just do anything to go out on a date with, and anything she says, you're just like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And like any other quarterback or any other, chick,
well, we saw it. His name is Antonio Brown.
All right. Exactly. 100%.
Oh, the gremlin boy. Let's not even.
Well, we know BA and Light wanted nothing to do with Brown, even with Brady in the door. It literally took the entire wide receiver room to go down to essentially even entertain the idea. And I will keep saying this: Antonio Brown really didn't do that much as a Buck. I'm really gonna die on that molehill.
Okay, and I believe you, but I really believe that he was healthy enough. If Antonio
can we talk about how his X-ray that he took was from October?
From that was classic. But the guy's an idiot. He hangs around with Floyd Mayweather, who
and Kanye at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I do. I will say, but in terms, just what you said real quick, in terms of the on-field stuff, I would say that. A lot of what he didn't do, though, he was also doing stuff by dictating where coverages go and all that
exactly.
stuff. So,
yeah, you had to know where you had to account for him.
It's a tragedy at the end. As much as I can't stand the fucking guy, as much as you know me, I try to stay up as objective as possible.
But you can't be right now.
I just hate that he caught a Super Bowl touchdown because everyone will talk about how instrumental he was to that Super Bowl run, and I'm just like.
I'm going to go further, and I'm probably in the minority. I'm probably in the minority here. But if he had kept his mind and they had played the Rams with Antonio Brown, with Chris Godwin out,
Tristan Wirfs was the reason why the Bucs
lost. I realize about Tristan Wirfs. I just don't think the Bucs had enough ammunition to go up against the Rams. And I believe that Antonio Brown is as aggressive as he is, as complete a route runner as he is, regardless of what you think about the scumbag, I really believe that he could have been a difference maker compared to the other wide receivers in the room that were healthy and available along the other side of Mike Evans. I think AB would have been an upgrade, and he would have put the Bucs in a different position.
Well, no doubt. No doubt he would have. But the problem is he's a fucktard. And, he did all of those things to where
I'm just
he was
saying,
no longer on the team.
And I'm saying had none of this happened and he had been on the field, I'm telling you, it would have been a different situation.
But I think the thing that we're learning that it wasn't even about like on the field, even anything. It's whatever took place between Brown, Light, and his agents around his bonus money, because whether like the playoffs wasn't ever going to be like an issue because all players basically get paid the same unless you have incentives in your contract. Like AB wanted that money and he was like 5 catches away from getting all of his money.
You get it. That's what. Listen, the guy just lost his mind, and that's what it is.
But he's not. The Bucs aren't the first team he even walked off on, though, Gene.
No, you're spot on, man. And as I mentioned this before. You were right. You were right. But at the end of the day, all I'm saying is because of the way the Bucs lost that game against the Rams, and to me that I felt like they were shorthanded. You just have Mike Evans, and nobody else is showing up to do what they're supposed to do.
Who smoked Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah, who smoked.
Yo, I mean, that's Tom Brady's last ever touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Also, some fan has it and put it on auction. So
Yeah,
shout
so
out Mike
like,
Evans for not throwing one touchdown or TD ball away, but 2.
It's probably gonna get like a milli too. Like that's just
Well,
that's like
he's staying, or he or she's staying silent.
8 or 10 Bitcoin.
But they put it on an auction, Gene.
Yeah, they're trying to auction it.
Wow.
For Bitcoin, they're gonna get some coin. No.
Yeah, the other guy came out and everyone knew who he was. No one knows who this person is.
Yeah, the thing is, I think it's cold hard cash they're gonna get. So
that's wild. It's somebody's mom or dad that had a kid there at the game, and the kid got the ball. I'm just guessing. I could be wrong, but who knows?
It could be like the Jets receiver Braxton Berrios, who smacked when the Bucs played the Jets and they scored that touchdown. They threw it to a kid and he went up and smacked it. I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, you're an asshole, man. Like, come on. Like, snatch. Like, nope, that's mine.
Hey, did the Jets re-sign that guy?
I don't know, man, but hey, I had him in
him in a Bucs uniform.
In my game preview for yeah, he's everything we want Jalen Darden to be. But in my SI game preview, I had him as one of my players to watch or whatever. I was like, look, this little dude can scoot, man. Like, he puts the
nice hands. He's got nice hands too.
Yeah, so I mean, but like I said, I don't know. Hold on, let me see. I want to say he's got a
signed him. Yeah, I think they extended him,
or maybe like.
Can I address this whole AB's going to the Ravens thing? If there's a team out there that takes
what you get.
No, but if there's a team out there that takes character into consideration for literally all of their players, it's the Ravens. It is completely not their MO.
Yeah.
If he signs somewhere, he signs somewhere. But I'd put all my money on someone not named the Ravens at least.
Probably you can't go back to the Raiders, so you can't go there.
If anybody signs him after last year, they just deserve whatever hell is.
Well, I think if a team ever does sign them, it's basically like kind of what happened to Odell this year, where I'm not saying it's the same situation, but I'm saying you're only getting someone for like 4 to 6 games. Like you're not getting an entire season. But Odell proved everyone wrong, and fuck Baker Mayfield. He's not good. That was one hill I'm happy that I'm on, because even after his rookie year, that was just one of those gut feelings.
So what did somebody call him? The sober Johnny Football or something like that, or forgot what they call
him.
Okay, I'm back.
Better.
So who else could possibly sign him?
I'm trying to look at.
I think it's going to take like a Rams or something that's just literally
not with the Rams.
But I'm saying let's say Robert Woods is taking forever. His rehab doesn't go as well. Something happens to Cup or whatever. They don't bring Odell back. But what I'm saying is it takes. Yeah, but AB's never playing for more than $5 million ever again.
No. He's
going to get the league minimum for some team for 4 to 6 games if he ever does, but I don't think he ever will, just because he's in a legal situation with the NFL, which you never want to get involved with. He wants a settlement. He wants money. Like NFL doesn't like lawsuits against them.
So let's see.
Civil cases.
I'm trying to look up Berrios' contract, and okay, so. Yeah, he's an unrestricted free agent. Okay, so my computer is not working for some reason, so I had to go to my phone. And then when I initially typed in Braxton Berrios, it autocorrected to Braxton Berries, so I couldn't look it up for a minute.
Let's see. T. Smitty brings up an interesting point. Kansas City. No, he wouldn't go to Kansas City. No.
He brought up it would AB go to. Well, KC is interesting. Because remember, what's his face from Pittsburgh said no to them.
Oh yeah, Juju.
Juju said no. Imagine if Juju just even played a half of an injury season with Mahomes. Like that's the beauty of that offense. Is if anyone wants to revitalize, like who the fuck was Byron Pringle 2 fucking months ago?
I mean, Sammy Watkins.
That's Super Bowl
a freaking beast out there with Kansas City.
But that's my point. Like whoever's wide receiver option number 3, because even Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not even a weapon for that team.
Yeah, and so on the other side of the Cheetah,
it's Cheetah and Kelsey.
Yeah, and I just hope that Chris Godwin doesn't go there.
Yeah, and McCole Hardman, his his role last year after I think like week 8 or 9, just like started like he was playing like 60%, like 65% of snaps. And then over the last, I think 9 games, it dropped to like 38%. And they even had crap, I can't think of his name, but they had somebody else even returning punts at some point. So like even his role in special teams dropped. So I don't know how much they feel about McCall or how well they feel about McCall Hardman.
But the question again with AB is durability. That guy, he didn't play a full. He hasn't played a full season for a while.
Screw him.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Ryan Tannehill.
As
he
Dude,
went out
Nashville wants him gone. Like it's so funny how Nashville and Tampa Bay often like intersect.
Well, because of the GM even too, and
in terms of like problems and everything. Like, dude, Nashville thinks for somehow, some way, like 80% Titans fans right now think that the Titans are going to trade Ryan Tannehill, which is not going to freaking happen, man. Mm-hmm. Like he has a $29 million base salary. Nobody is going to take that after his worst year as a Titan last year.
Yeah, it's not going to get worse that much.
And the Titans, like I think in terms of effective cap space, my computer's probably going to shit out on me. But here we go. No, it's working.
11 in the red.
Yeah, they're definitely in the red.
11
million in effective cap space. So even if they were to eat 10 million or whatever of his base salary, now of course they. Ever since like void years from last year with Bucs free agency, has like scarred me because every time I say something now, I'm like, well, they could add a void year or two, but they could. But either way, even if they eat 10 million this year, that's going to put them in the red even more. So Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback for 2022, and Titans fans just need to get the hell over it, man. It's just that simple. Yeah. Just like a lot of Bucs fans need to get over the possibility of the idea that Gabbert's going to be quarterback.
What do you guys think about Mort reports saying that BA is so confident that it's because, possibly live with Gabbert through a Deshaun Watson suspension?
I mean, that's got some wheels. I mean, that's logical, but at the same time, $35 million base salary.
And we also don't know anything until April 1st is when the lawyers came out and said that they would know anything about criminal charges.
Right. Why would you risk that much? And where are the Texans, I think, have 18 million or something like that. Now they've got 4 million in effective cap space. So how much can they really take on? I mean, it's.
So I guess the big question is.
Well, hold on real quick. And let me say this. People forget that Tom Brady was a free agent.
Right.
They didn't have to give up anything for him. If they had to trade for him, we wouldn't have Tristan Wirfs. So,
and probably Antoine, you probably would have traded 1 and 2 at the minimum.
At minimum. And then if they trade this year's 1, Joe Tryon's on the team. So, how willing Joe Tryon Schwenka. So how willing, how much do y'all really want to spend to get one of these quarterbacks, especially risk it on Deshaun Watson that much? And Jason Light's been drafting his ass off. So why risk that stuff on him, man? It's not worth it.
And this is what, listeners, this is what you have to do. You have to take a step back, take a deep breath, and trust in Jason Light. I mean,
Light is right.
And as long as I've been doing this, I've had listeners that stopped listening to me because I wouldn't go after Jason Light. And I've always said, I want to see what his body of work is. When he's done as a Buccaneer, then you can be critical of him and in what he's done. Because, I mean, you could go back and look at Bruce Allen and compare Bruce Allen to Rich McKay, just based on their body of work. And that dumbass Mark Dominic. You can compare those guys to Rich McKay, and now, we haven't finished seeing what Jason Light's capable of doing. I believe what he did last year, bringing everybody back from a Super Bowl championship team and being able to get them guys on the field tells me that he's capable of doing quite a bit. I don't think they're going to go the path that the New Orleans Saints have gone, where they keep kicking the can down the road. I think they're going to come to a point where they get players in and they make a competitive team and they make a run for the playoffs. And let's see what happens in the playoffs, especially with 7 teams in the playoffs, as opposed to what you had previous to that. So to me, I listen to all this stuff, but then I have to take a step back and say, you know what? We have not even hit the tampering portion of free agency. We don't know what's going to happen. So it's
What
kind of
if 2 weeks from today, Josh McDaniels basically opens the door, hey, Derek Carr's available? That's variable change. We just don't know that information now.
100%.
Right. Yeah, it's still early. It's still
Yeah.
early. But based off of it's just going off our knowledge of the team, trends and all that other stuff. However, there's no reason to be on the extreme side of the spectrum.
You can't be. You got to be balanced on
If
it.
you're someone who bet that Kyler Murray was going to be our next quarterback, like we need to have conversations about your betting habits, not
And
about
just
the
your
Bucks
decision
quarterback
making in
situation.
Give
general.
me your
I
wallet
feel
and your
bad for
credit
your bank
card.
Well,
account.
each week,
No.
it's literally been each week. Like Kyler Murray was the guy 3 weeks ago, Jimmy G 2 weeks ago, like Blaine Gabbert's just this week's cheese. Like
I know.
he's the guy
We are
this
sitting
week. Next
on a
week, it's going to be
line.
someone else, Gene. That's
Exactly.
just how the offseason works.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just
I
sitting
mean,
on
hell, I bet you Carson Wentz, once it comes out about the Colts, oh, Bruce Arians, Carson Wentz is one of his. Like, I'm just saying someone's going to say that at some point. It's just how it works.
Sheil Capadia of The Athletic actually already said that last week. He wrote in his 10 bold predictions that Carson Wentz was going to get traded to the Bucks.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, no,
we
I get
don't know
what you're
any of
saying.
this. Carson Wentz hasn't even been linked to us really
Right.
yet, other
Right.
than, maybe some really smart people with
It's
some
all
articles. But,
speculation.
like,
It's
he
speculation.
could also get cut, though, as well. I've heard that is a possibility for the Colts. So my point is, we don't know jack shit.
We don't. And there's so much going on behind the scenes, with the general manager, with his team, with the front office, with the head coaches, and talent evaluation has been great the past couple of years. And I'm happy with the moves that have been made. And I believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will continue to make those kind of moves.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, just based off of the free agent decisions they've made, and also the beautiful part about it is a lot of the big moves they need to make are re-signing their own guys. You're not putting outside trust, so that just shows you how well they've built this roster, the players that they fit to do the roles, and all they have to do is just make sure they pay the right amount of money to the right guys, and then just continue to draft like they've drafted over the last few years. Now, granted, and this is something for a later date, a topic. But, I mean, you look at last year's draft class, all 4 top draft picks, are under big-time pressure this year because you think about it, Jason Pierre-Paul's I loved what he did. I hope he's not back. Yeah, goodbye. Way too expensive. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is going to have to take over him. Kyle Trask, his day is coming. Robert Hainsey, honestly, in my opinion, I think is going to be the starting center this year. And then Jalen Darden. Woo! Man.
Yeah. You got
What
the
if,
Raiders.
what if the
long way to go.
Bengals, if the Bengals go out and get, let's say, Teron Armstead and Ryan Jensen,
Which I think is
they're
a
going
very
to throw
real
the bags at like
possibility.
2 guys like that.
Oh, no doubt.
Easily.
No doubt.
Easily.
No doubt. And you
So,
look
yeah.
at the draft pick, their draft picks it's insane where they are right now. They are
Well, they got the salary cap too in their favor.
on their side.
They got 43 in just effective cap. That's before they start manipulating shit. Gotta love the rookie contracts.
And the one key thing about Tampa Bay is their process has been right over the last few years. So things should stay on track, and as long as things do, and to round this all into one big, nice, beautiful circle like the ring light sitting in front of me.
Me too.
If we are not vain, but if everything works like it's supposed to, and then you make Gabbert your starting quarterback, $5-6 million, if things go right, you're looking at a playoff team. I can promise you that.
All right, guys. Go ahead, KB.
I was gonna say with that, like again, the nice thing about the Bucks and the Rams, at least winning the past 2 Super Bowls, is just telling you, and even the Chiefs, if you want to throw them the past 3 years, there is a wide fucking array of ways to win the Super Bowl essentially and attack the quarterback position because you can attack it in the draft and not even have the number 1 overall pick and still, go nuts. You can have everything put together perfectly, but just miss the quarterback and acquire them whether it's be free agency in this case. And then you have the Rams case where you literally have 6 good players on your team. You hit a bunch in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round just to get role players, and then you mortgage your future for the quarterback. Like, there's different ways to do this, and the Bucs, I think their thing is, hey, let's make this the best roster possible. Then if you build it, quarterback will come, Julius Joe Jackson. Operation Julius Joe Jackson.
I mean, Tom Brady came to Tampa Bay because of their roster. So simple.
So there you go. I mean, you have to tip your cap to Jason Light and what he's done. And with that being said, if we go back to Rich McKay, as much as I love Rich McKay was my guy outside of the fact that he's with the stinky Falcons. Other than that, just what he did to build up Hall of Fame player, bringing Hall of Fame players. He went through a couple of coaches. He finally got to where he needed to, and then they won that Super Bowl, and then he moved on. The one thing that I will say with when he left, the Buccaneers were in a bad situation, whether it was with draft picks or the salary cap. Now, fast forward to what Jason Light has done. Jason Light went out, got that. He fixed some of his mistakes. He brought in players that he really needed to. He really improved on bringing in free agents that fit a system. And, from there, you win a Super Bowl, you turn around and bring everybody back from the previous year from that Super Bowl team. And now people need to really keep in mind that this guy, he knows what he's doing. The Bucs are in a really good position, despite what you may think about the cap right now. I think with the right moves and some people maybe doing a little bit with their contracts, I think you can bring some players back and you can really do a lot right now with this Buccaneers team and make this team a competitive team for 2023.
Just to be petty, I'll never forget the week that Rich McKay left and went to the Falcons, and the Bucs played them that following Sunday, and then it was the game that knocked them out of the playoffs. The Bucs had to go for that 2-point conversion, and the Falcons knocked it out. Dude, I just remember him like celebrating and like hugging Arthur Blank, and I'm just like, I'm 14 years old and I've never known hate more than I know it right now. Like, God, dude, it made me so angry. So,
but I just kind of look at what he did as for the Buccaneers. I kind of felt
he was huge. He was huge.
Yeah, I felt that way about Warrick Dunn when Warrick Dunn went to Atlanta, and I was furious. Yeah. I mean, you have no idea.
Came back home though. Rich McKay never came back home.
Yeah, he spot on.
Good riddance though.
Yeah, exactly. And he's on the competition committee, which is part of the reason that we have these shitty calls that we get all the time. These personal fouls that are all over the place, and
it's just so inconsistent.
It really is
so stupid.
Like you can literally piece someone go like 20 yards running into the end zone. Granted, it's kind of badass that you piece someone that's literally in front of you and still ran by him. Like, don't get me wrong, I think that's fucking fantastic. But that poor kid for the Bears that got that sack, I'll never understand. And then the referee bumped into him.
That's what I'm saying. It's overkill. It's overcompensation.
Well, and the Bucs had 3 personal foul penalties. Levante David got a penalty for throwing his helmet at the ground when we saw players throwing off their helmets to celebrate, always. Carlton Davis got the same thing. He got an interception or tip ball, whatever. He took off his helmet and showed off his grill or whatever.
He brought that on.
But then Mike Evans gets laid out helmet to helmet. But because the ball had just hit the ground, the play was already over. It's not a penalty. It's whatever. Like the rules and they still don't even know what a catch is. We haven't even got to that fucking rule.
And we just really need to have some visibility on what these referees' bank accounts look like.
Well, we need what the XFL to do really well with these rules, because now that the XFL and the NFL have a partnership, that's where rules changes. Like, our overtime, things can be worked out there.
Yeah, and I don't know. A lot of people were saying they didn't like the XFL. I love the XFL. I actually watched a game, not pissed off at a referee, and go on about your business, going about your day. And I do want to take a moment to shout out the USFL Tampa Bay Bandits. Draft was today. How exciting is that? And more football coming in here. I know COVID kind of slowed a few things down, but I think we're back on track to have football outside of the NFL and, kind of help to keep us sane from all this other madness that goes on in the off season. So really exciting. Guys, real quick, and I know that you guys have other things that you need to be doing, but I do want to go over some of the free agents that are out there. I know I sent you the link, but Andrew Adams, do you re-sign him?
Yes.
Or do you go after him?
Yes.
Giovanni Bernard, I say no.
Yes.
Alex Kappa.
Yeah, yes.
Well, I mean, money.
Okay.
If in a perfect world they can afford him.
Yeah, in a perfect world, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Carlton Davis, yes. Pierre Desir.
No.
Jordan Whitehead, yes.
CB5. Okay.
Leonard Fournette.
No.
Blaine Gabbert is yes for you guys. I guess I'm begrudgingly going to join you guys and say yes. Will Golston.
Yes.
Actually, I want the Bucs to change. I want them to have more
pass rushing on the defensive line. Yes, I'm right there. But that guy could be.
Will's so good though. That's the only thing I don't like. He doesn't play enough.
He's underrated. Like. You're right. He's underrated.
I'm going to say yes with Will Golston.
That's me thinking Sue's gone. So they'll get a pass rusher to replace Sue.
I would definitely say yes to Will Golston. Chris Godwin, of course, yes. Gronk is no. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
OJ not coming back.
No.
Ryan Jensen.
No.
Ronald Jones. No, he's not coming back. Steve McClendon is a yes for me.
I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Kevin Minter is a no.
Sorry.
I need Stewart and my boy from Auburn to take those steps to get Minter out of here.
Okay, Minter.
Yeah, Minter. I'm
going to be honest. Minter has played as good as
the game's too fast for him, man. The game's too fast.
But for what they needed him for with Devin White out, I thought he did enough.
Well, he's good to replace White. He's not good to replace David.
Right. But I think you could upgrade at that position. So I'm going to say we can move on. I think you can bring somebody else in.
Well, I hope KJ Britt or Grant Stewart takes that next step.
Yeah, so that's the hope. I'm thinking KJ Britt. I'm thinking KJ Britt and Grant Stewart will stay on a special.
KJ Britt's kind of Kevin Minter Jr. at the end of the day, so
but faster.
There you go.
It's hard, but it's hard to be slower than to Minter. That's the only thing.
That is true.
Rashard Perryman.
Yes.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, I would.
There you go. Jason Pierre-Paul, retirement.
No, he's coming back, but
it sounds like he's coming back. Yeah, based off his Instagram stuff, it sounds like he's coming back.
All right.
But can we say cut Bradley Pinion?
Yes. And Ryan Suckup.
I try to tell everyone. Oh, and Ryan Suckup. Oh, Gene's face.
Dude, he handicaps the offense. Okay. Just be straight up with me. And if you say yes, I'll totally respect it. But how much faith?
He's about to fucking fight you right now.
Would you have faith in Ryan Suckup if he had to hit a field goal from 50 plus?
Yeah.
Only because of the Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, like 52, like anything more than 52, hell no.
Okay.
50, like 51 or 2.
I'm even doubting this dude at 48. Like
listen,
50 plus.
Let me say this. Let me say this. When you look at his body of work as a Buccaneer so far,
2 years,
who made you forget that the Bucs had a kicking problem? The Bucs have had a kicking problem since what? He just did.
Look, this is the thing though. It's not like it's like we've been talking about. It's the process, not the results at the end of the day. And what is it? 17 yards tacked on to the line of scrimmage is an NFL field goal.
Right.
If it's 4th and 2 at the 33, 4th and 1 even, most teams are Matt Gay, Evan McPherson.
Let's not even bring him up.
BA should honestly go for most of those, if you ask me.
He has not missed 2 total kicks, including 1 extra point, 1 field goal. He has not missed he has not missed more than 1 kick, total kick, in his entire career as a Ram. The dude is on fire.
Okay, yes, but he could never. His performance for the Bucs, like it was just like we couldn't.
It was the Giants game and the Falcons, or the Texans. One of those last 2 games. The Falcons.
But my point is, like, once they cut him, it was kind of just like whatever. And I'm happy that we got Ryan Suckup. Now, if there's someone that you think we can bring in, I'm happy to entertain the conversation. But I'm happy that we went Suckup when we did. That's the only thing I'll say.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about just from this point on moving forward. Yeah.
So if they find a Matt Gay in the draft and that doesn't have the first year yips,
they've already got the dude on the practice squad.
Jorge Bergalo, so my man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They've already got the dude on the practice squad. But look, this is what I'm saying. That my overall point.
Jeez, look what we said.
A 4th and 2 or 4th and 1 at the 33. The Bucs are going to go for that 9 times out of 10, and they showed that.
And they should, and I think they should.
I don't disagree, but in terms of game situation, it all depends on the game situation. And me, I'm thinking at the end of the day, since we were talking about a Super Bowl contending team, right? They need to be able to get points in clutch moments and not have to rely on converting a 4th down. So, and when it comes to Ryan Suckup, I don't want that. If I have zero faith that he's going to be able to provide in that moment, and this is all just me, my stupid ass opinion. Zero, seriously. If they
G just loves Suckup so much, I'm having so much fun with this.
Line up for a 50, if Ryan Suckup is on this roster in 2022, and they line up for a 50-plus yard field goal with him, I am going again. Find me in a Southside motel with a fucking revolver and a pack of Pall Malls because I'm in a pint. Because, dude, it's not gonna happen. Like, it's not gonna happen, man. Like, but anyway,
well, again, I'm anything below 52. I think 52 is my cutoff with Suckup, which pushes at the 35.
Pushing it 48. You're pushing it at 48.
And that's fine, but that's what I'm saying. 52. If he lines up for anything more than a 52, I'm just saying automatic miss. Don't even have a conversation with me. Is what I'm saying.
But like that again, like kickers should be able to hit from that in the NFL.
But it's all about their mental because I mean we've seen Mason Crosby is the only guy who's really stuck around despite having more than one mental struggle.
He was terrible last
year. But he's had a couple stretches with the Packers.
I know. Look, my numbers back it up.
Robbie Gold.
He's one of 3 from 50 plus in his time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So,
okay, well, all right, I'm going to give you that, and I think that again,
I didn't know that.
Ryan Suckup was consistent enough. He was consistent enough in his tenure as a Buccaneer to make you forget that the Bucs had kicking issues year after year after year after year after year. Okay,
but I'm with Evan. If Brady's not here, I don't see why you don't evaluate that. Exactly. That makes sense.
So the way is Jose. That's my new Twitter hashtag. Jose.
Please write an article with that.
Jose is the way.
Okay, so
just say football is life for him.
Okay, I'm getting to put that. The way is Jose. Is that what we're putting?
Jose is the way. Jose
is the way.
I'm updating my my Twitter right now, so it's no longer Buck what you heard. It's the way is Jose. I'm actually doing it just because I'm going to agree with you here.
And Gene, you might have another Ryan Suckup apology tour.
Yeah, and I may have to do the Ryan Suckup apology tour.
I might have to. Shit, I might have to.
Well, and that's the thing. Suckup's never going to be known for his big leg, but like if he can provide to me what Robbie Gold does, I think that's I like stability. Again, having Matt Gay is flashy and great, but also Matt Gay, granted, he's probably going through injuries, was short on a 3-yard field goal. Like,
well, and
kickers are so finicky.
Let me be clear. Like, if I, like I said, I have zero faith. If I had like 30% faith, like I'm not asking for, 70%, 80%, somebody like, even if I had like 30%, because that's probably, if you looked up, NFL average from 50 plus, I guarantee you it's probably lower than 50%. I would imagine because that's a wide range,
because only like Justin Tucker and like 2 other people are like
Evan McPherson from that guy. Yeah, right. So like even if I had like 25-30% faith that he could do it, I would be okay with that. But I don't. Like I literally I think the Bucs lined up for like a 49-yarder, one of the last attempts of the season. And I just laughed. I was like, there's no way. And then sure enough, boom. I'm just like, yep. I'm just like, yep.
Okay, let me get through the rest of these here.
Okay. All right.
Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is no.
No.
It's a no.
Yeah, no. Richard Sherman, no.
Aaron Stinney.
Yes. Because you might lose Kappa.
Ndamukong Suh?
Yes, unless he retires.
I'm going to say yes. because the guy's a genius.
He's
Josh
so
Wells
good.
and
He's so
Josh Wells
good,
is
man.
yes. You know,
I don't know. I think you
I'll
drafted
give
him
Josh Wells the pass only because
because of the competition.
shout out to this guy who
if
played
he's
on that fucking ankle. I don't
Yeah.
even know how he even survived, let alone blocked for 2 seconds.
I think you drafted tackle this year. I
You
really
ha-
do.
you almost have to.
Evan, what if they went swing tackle in
That
like the
would be
second
amazing.
round?
That would be
Like
great.
first or second round.
I
Like
would
someone who
love it.
can maybe even kick into guard.
Yeah, I
You
would
know,
love
you
it.
can like
Sexy right there.
Sign me up for it
Nicholas
all day.
Petit Friere. I know he struggled against Aiden Hutchinson,
That's Aiden
but this
Hutchinson,
man has
bro.
literally played everywhere and put on like 50 pounds in the past like 3 years. That's all I'm gonna say.
So,
Man's right.
are you going to the combine?
No, I don't think so. The original plan was, but with COVID and everything, things have changed. So I don't think I'm going to be there.
Well, I can send you a mask if you want to go, and that way you could go live and we can talk to you.
Oh, trust me, brother, it has nothing to do with me. If I could get in the building, then
Okay,
yes,
since you
I
can
would be
gloves,
there. But
Yeah, they opened up for the players, Gene, but for everyone else, it's pretty much still status
yeah,
quo.
it's weird. And plus, I never got my booster shot. Not trying to get into the whole
No,
dynamic
that's
of
neither.
boosters, but
Yeah, I totally understand.
yeah. Well, and I'm awaiting word on because like I'm fully vaccinated, but I'm awaiting word on how things are going to go in the regular season because like let's say they keep doing these Zoom press conferences. Well, there's no point in me going anywhere if I can have the same access back here at home, so on and so forth. So
I think they
it just
will,
all
Evan.
depends. I think they are too. I mean, they've done it for the last 2 years. Why are they not going to do it a third year?
So, and to that point, man, we will definitely have you on a lot, especially in the off season, because it's really, I consider you an amazing resource, and what you've done. I mean, just in the past year, going from starting out where was it at the plank and ending up with where you are right now. I mean, it just is a testament to your work ethic. It's a testament to your football IQ. And we need more journalism that's unbiased. I know we joke around here and everything like that, but I think that you're a pretty straight shooter and you're not swayed one way or the other. And I really appreciate that. And I would tell you that just like a Greg Allman, just like Tom Bassinger, just there are so many out there that, they're looked upon as like, well, they're against, what's going on here. But when you're being honest and you're looking at everything right down the line and you're not putting your personal spin on it, I think that's really important. And I think people need to really take a look at that and appreciate it.
I appreciate that, man. And I mean, I know like you consider, you got the fan involvement and all that good stuff, but at the end of the day, like you know how to tell how it is, and you can also separate. Like there's one thing when it comes to people being fans, but also being real at the same time. They can separate, the personalities. It's almost like being a football player,
right?
Like Larry Fitzgerald. Like, dude is an absolute maniac on the field, but in real life, he's the coolest guy, the greatest guy ever to live. But yeah, man, I mean, you do the same thing, and it's always a pleasure to come on. Same thing to you.
And I really try to, and again, with the whole Blaine Gabbert thing, guys, real talk, if he's under center, I'm all in.
Who knows? I mean, like I said in the beginning, man, there's no reason to feel comfortable, but it's not the end of the world.
It's the only realistic option we have right now.
Right now,
that's it.
And until everything else falls together, we start seeing what's happening with free agency. Who knows? Somebody may change their contract up a little bit and free up some money here or there.
Someone might get cut.
Yeah, somebody might get cut. So many things can happen between now and the regular season. As they say at Real Bucks Talk, the roster's fluid.
As we sign off, I have one question for the panel. What happens first? The Bucks go all in for a quarterback, or Rondé gets in the hall?
Bucks go all in.
Bucks go all in.
God, that tells you how much little faith we have in
until you can get somebody.
It's more
everyone I know, but
it's
you have to have a scapegoat.
And this is true. This is a fact right here, and I'm going to say this. I'll die on this hill. Until you can get somebody that genuinely represents Tampa and the Tampa Bay area, it's not going to happen. Because I can tell you right now, based on what I've seen and what it takes to get somebody in the hall, there have been people that have made last minute pleas to get their guy into the Hall of Fame. And it's there are people that give these passion speeches and do what they can. I know a lot of people like, oh, well, they can't do this or they can't do this, but you're doing everything within your power. And I've heard our representative on multiple occasions, and I'm not impressed. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I just hope that at some point the Hall of Fame can go, hey, maybe we should rotate these clowns out and get some different guys in and see what we can do. That would build faith with the fan base, with the NFL to show that this is a legitimate process.
Well, a fresh perspective never hurts. I mean, if writing and covering NFL teams was like the Senate, where you got people making life careers out of it, then it would become bland, it would become watered down, and all that good 100%. Stuff. So no, I definitely, a rotation would be pretty cool at the end of the day. I do agree with that.
I would. Well, also it's good for the media too, like media members, so you're not just having the same person represent basically a city. I mean, there's 50 of these people.
Yeah, like I would even say if you got a gold jacket, I think you should be in the mix.
Imagine if Warren Sapp got a Hall of Fame vote. That's one thing I don't want.
He can't. He can't. He doesn't know how to tip, so he doesn't deserve a Hall of Fame.
But like consider a Derek Brooks. Consider a Derek Brooks putting his or a John Lynch. A John Lynch, representing Tampa. I know he was in Denver. But just that he cut his teeth in Tampa.
Oh, bro, he's a Buck for life.
Yeah,
he's a Buck for life.
Just like Brady.
Yeah. And what Brady did with the boat parade, he's permanently part of Tampa lore. I mean, it's just
what's crazy is the Lightning have had the boat parades, but it's the Bucs one that's the memorable one.
Amazing, yeah.
And it's because of Brady.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much. I know we've kind of gone over a little bit. I want to thank you guys for coming on. I want to thank Smack Apparel. As always, I am rocking the Bruce Arians Smack Apparel t-shirt. If you guys get a chance, go out to smackapparel.com. I think next week we will be giving away a free t-shirt. And, just one of the Tom Brady, the Thank You Tom Brady t-shirts. And, we'll be giving that out to some fortunate person that calls in. Evan Winter, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and what you got going on.
So you can find me over at a2zsports.com. That is spelled exactly how it sounds. I'm kind of covering the Chiefs for them over there, sprinkling in with the Cowboys and the Titans from time to time. You can find me on Twitter at Evan_Winter. You can also find A to Z Sports on Twitter at A to Z Sports and then at A to Z Sports Dallas. But make sure to pay attention within the next week. Let's just say right around this time next week, there's going to be some pretty big developments considering our direction and what we're doing in terms of content and so on and so forth. So, and if you follow me on Twitter, you'll definitely be privy to find out what happens, but be sure you keep your eyes out for the next week.
Oh, most definitely. KB, my man, what's going on? Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Man, y'all know you can find me.
Yeah.
I say it every goddamn week. If you don't follow me by now after watching this show, you're never going to follow me.
Yeah. You know what? Make a liar out of him and go follow this man right now. Let's just
unfollow me and then refollow me.
If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. I don't ask very often, but it's very nice when
it's nice
when you see it.
Very nice.
And you can reach me at Buck What You Heard. Look for Jose Is the Way.
I already beat y'all to that. I didn't change my name, but I already threw it out there.
Yeah, Jose Is the Way is the new handle that I'm going by right now.
So many people are gonna hate me on Twitter. They already do.
So to say people don't already.
They already do.
And I don't want to say that I've.
If you don't have haters on Twitter, you're not doing it right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I need to work on that. But yeah, so again, guys, thank you so much, everybody, for checking us out. Greatly appreciated. Will the Brewer, Bud Cannibalist, James Thomas. Yeah, I'm with you on the USFL. I'm looking forward to it. King Cook, thank you so much. Emily was the first one in here. Buck Skull Gang, Guys, thank you so much. If I missed you, I apologize. I'll get to you next time. But next week, be sure to try to call in. We'll be giving a free Smack Apparel t-shirt away. And again, one real quick, I want to shout out Game Changers. Got my chain ready for the NFL season. Ready to
Just
roll.
Don't let Carlton Davis touch it.
Yeah, it's not happening. Don't touch
drop it.
Sorry. Exactly.
If you didn't get the joke out there.
Exactly. All right, guys, we are out of here. Thank you so much, and everybody have a good night. Peace.
Peace.
Hopefully I don't get a 15-yard penalty for this, but